People like to say the past is behind you, that eventually enough time passes. Eventually the memories fade. Eventually the people who hurt you stop mattering. I used to believe that. Then I found the photograph. Lily. Just seeing the name was enough. It felt like 10 years disappeared in an instant. I barely slept that night. Neither did AJ. The next morning, Maya was still gone. No trail, no note, nothing. Just an open window and 1,000 questions. Most people at Ericson wanted to stay put, lock the gates. Wait, I couldn't. Not after everything we'd learned, not after the message, not after Maya. So AJ and I left at sunrise. The photograph was the only lead we had. For hours we followed old roads, abandoned trails, anything that looked recently used. The deeper we went, the quieter the world became. No walkers, no animals, nothing. Just trees, just silence. The kind of silence that makes you feel watched. Around midday we found the first sign, a camp, recently abandoned. The fire was still warm. Someone had been there, several people. One of them had left something behind. A small wooden carving, a bird. I recognized it immediately. It belonged to Maya. I remembered seeing it hanging from her backpack. For the first time all day, I felt relieved, because it meant she was alive. AJ wasn't so sure. He kept looking around, scanning the woods, like he expected someone to step out at any second. Maybe he was right. A few miles later, we found another clue. A symbol, 3 lines inside a circle, painted onto an old road sign. Fresh, deliberate, close. We followed it until sunset. Then we found Maya. She wasn't tied up. She wasn't hurt. She was waiting. Standing outside an abandoned ranger station. The second she saw us, she looked relieved, then terrified, like she'd just realized we'd followed her. AJ ran toward her. I didn't. Something felt wrong. Then I heard a voice, one I hadn't heard in years. Clementine. My heart stopped. A woman stepped out of the shadows. Older, gray streaks in her hair, scars I didn't recognize, lines around her eyes. Time had changed her, but not enough. I'd know that face anywhere. Lily. For a moment nobody moved. AJ raised his rifle. Maya froze, and I just stared. Because after all these years, after everything that happened, the last person I ever expected to see again was standing right in front of me. Lily looked at AJ, then back at me. There was no anger in her eyes, no hatred, no threats, only regret. Clementine, I've been trying to find you. For a moment, I couldn't speak. Neither could AJ. Neither could Maya. The only sound was the wind moving through the trees. Lily didn't move. She didn't reach for a weapon. She didn't make any excuses. She just stood there, looking at me, older, tired, human. I hated that, because it would have been easier if she looked like the monster I remembered. Then Maya stepped forward. Mom. The word hit me like a punch. I looked at Maya, then Lily. Suddenly the photograph made sense. All of it. AJ looked confused. I couldn't blame him. He never knew Lily the way I did. He never saw what happened. He never carried those memories. I did. Lily looked down for a moment, almost like she was ashamed to meet my eyes. Then she spoke again. I know you have every reason to hate me. I didn't answer because she was right. The worst part, she knew it. There was no arguing, no defending herself, no pretending the past didn't happen, just silence. Then Maya moved closer to her, and for the first time, I saw something I never thought I'd see. Lily looked scared, not for herself, for her daughter, and somehow that scared me even more. AJ looked at Lily. His expression was hard to read. I couldn't blame him. He remembered her. The Delta, the Raiders, the war. He'd seen what Lily became, but he never knew the person she used to be, the woman from before all of it, before the anger, before the loss, before the world ended. I did, and standing there now, I wasn't sure which version of Lily the first was looking at. For a while nobody spoke. The forest felt smaller somehow, like the trees were listening, like the world itself was waiting to see what happened next. Lily looked older than I remembered, not just physically. Tired. The kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep. The kind that comes from carrying something for too long. Maya stood beside her, close enough to touch her shoulder. Close enough to remind me that this wasn't the Lily the first knew. This was someone's mother. AJ lowered his rifle, not completely, just enough. Lily noticed. I don't blame you. AJ didn't answer. His eyes never left her. Neither did mine. Then Maya looked at me. You think she's a monster? The words hung in the air. Nobody rushed to answer, because everyone already knew the truth. A part of me did. A part of me always would. Maya shook her head. She saved me. I felt something twist in my chest. Because I believed her. That was the problem. I believed her. Then Lily finally spoke. When Maya was 6, I found her alone. Her voice was quiet. No pride, no drama, just a memory. Her parents were gone. Maya looked down, like she'd heard the story 100 times before. She should have died. Lily swallowed, but she didn't. For a moment, nobody said anything. Then AJ spoke. The first thing he'd said in minutes. You adopted her? Lily nodded. Maya smiled. Just a little. The kind of smile you only give someone you trust completely. I hated how much that bothered me. Because Maya wasn't lying. She loved her. And somehow, that was harder to accept than anything else. Then Lily looked directly at me. The first real eye contact since we'd met again. Clementine? I immediately felt my guard go up. Lily hesitated, like she wasn't sure she deserved to say my name. Then she took a breath. I never expected you to forgive me. The forest went silent again, but I hoped you'd listen. And for the first time since seeing her, I realized she wasn't trying to defend herself. She was trying to warn me.